Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Committee of MSME and Startup of ICA Shweta Panelia, extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries, professional colleagues, and participants who joined today for the 66th of MSME Pathsala Series 2. For that, it is my honor to first invite CA Gyan Chandra Mishra sir, Chairman of Committee on MSME and Startup ICI, to address the participants. In addition to the sir's current role, sir is qualified insolvency professional, law graduate, and associate member of ICSI with over 26 years of professional experience. He has been distinguished speaker on company law, insolvency, bankruptcy code, standard of auditing, and emerging professional opportunities. I request Sir C.A. Gyan Chandra Mishra to kindly share his word of wisdom with us.
So thank you so much, Shweta. Very respected, distinguished speaker, Naveen Agrawal ji. Of course, moderator, Shweta, secretary of the committee, Sanu madam, and the entire team of the committee, and all respected participants. Good afternoon to one and all. Friends, we understand that MSME is playing very vital role in the economic growth of the country, and we are very blessed that Honorable Prime Minister is taking due care in the growth engine, how to accelerate it. We understand that this growth of MSME is not only because of the policy being framed by the government, but also certainly by the entrepreneurs who are delivering their best in making the country proud and accelerate the MSME businesses, especially startups we see in the current scenario. Today's topic is government subsidies and employment linked incentive, and very learned speaker Naveen ji is going to deliver on it. Friends, there are so many schemes and supports from the government, which some of the professionals understand well and they are delivering to the entrepreneurs at large. However, there are so many things which even entrepreneurs are not aware. So through this webinar, we try to educate to the professionals to handhold in the best manner to the MSMEs, and not only to handhold their finance and compliance function, but to give some value addition in shape of the subsidy, in shape of the grant, in shape of the incentives being provided by the government in the growth of the MSMEs. I welcome one and all once again, and I'm sure that such webinars are going not to benefit to the professionals at large, but the water will be poured from the up to the down, and it will flow to the entrepreneurs in order to take the benefit of the various schemes of the government. So, friends, enjoy the session of Naveen ji, and I wish each and everyone a very happy learning. Naveen is like a younger brother to me and very good practicing in MSME nowadays. And Naveen, please do advise with respect to the various subsidies also, which
Like,
which the entrepreneurs can take the benefit, and of course the professionals can guide the same. So thank you once again, and I welcome Sweta Madam also in this program as moderator. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now, moving to the technical session, I am delighted to introduce our speaker for today, C.A. Naveen Agarwal. He is practicing chartered accountant with vast exposure in direct and indirect taxation, MSME incentives, government subsidies, stock market, and virtual digital assets. He is currently co-chairman of MSME Policies and Schemes Committee of Indian Industries Association and co-opted member of Committee on MSME and Startup CIRC of ICI. Sir has delivered impactful session for ICI, IIA, SAFA, HDFC Bank, and reputed universities. He is an empaneled faculty for BSc Institute Limited and recognized media face featured on Zee Business, Hindustan, Dainik Jagran, and Economic Times podcast. We are privileged to have you, sir, with us. Now I invite CA Naveen Agarwal to deliver his technical session.
Thank you very much, Shweta ma'am. And so, first of all, I would like to thank the Committee on MSME in Startup and our chairman of this committee, CA Gyanchand Mishra sir, to giving me this opportunity to deliver the important topic of government subsidies and employment linked incentives. Thank you all the dignitaries to be here and all the participants who are here to listen on this important topic. And today we have divided the session in three parts. So number one, we will cover the startup incentives, then government subsidies, and the employment link incentive recently issued in the budget by our Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji. So these incentives are very much important because nowadays we are running business and there are daily we are seeing that the cost of running business and other things got increased. So government is providing these incentives to neutralize this increase in the cost and providing the incentives on new employment, new manpower recruitment. So without wasting any single minute, I am starting my presentation and sharing my screen so that you can get through the details. I hope the slides are visible. Yeah. So I'm starting this session with government subsidies. So part one, as I discussed in this on startup incentives. So this is a very new concept, and everyone is introduced with the name startup. But many of them got confused with the traditional business and the startups, and what are the difference between that. So there are some incentives that is like the government subsidies and grants for initiating any business. So first part I am covering this, then we will move on the central government and state government subsidies. So first of all, let's understand what is business. So we are very much aware that any activity which is done meant for the profit, whether it is service or whether it is a goods transfer of goods, it is called business. But what makes different uh, to make it a startup? First of all, we have to understand that there are something basics structure of any traditional business. That is the legal structure. That means you're a proprietorship, a partnership from a private limited company. You need land, capital, human resource, and entrepreneurship who run the business. But when it comes to the startup, there was a definition introduced in by the Income Tax Act 1961, and they mentioned it that any business which is either scalable, technology driven, or potential of high employment generation will be called a startup. So normally we understand that any IT business or any app driven business, like we see the different applications in your mobile like Paytm or Ola or something aggregator application. So we normally think that these businesses are only startup, but it is not like that. Even you are having a manufacturing business and that is a potential of high employment generation, then it can also be a startup if it is a scalable business. There's nothing mandatory that it should be technology driven. It is or technology or innovative idea. So there is nothing compulsory that you have an information technology based business. If you are, it is an innovative business, it is scalable. So like we see in this in Shark Tanks that there are restaurants chains coming up, there are FMCG chains coming up, and they pitch their idea as a startup. Why I'm emphasizing on this definition? Because we have all the clients, or maybe you can be a MSME, you can be a businessman, so you can understand that you are also qualified in this definition. What other things in as per income tax is that it should be incorporated as a private limited company or a partnership firm or an LLP. So if you are a proprietorship firm constitution, so that will not be eligible, but other than that you can claim you as a startup. And this turnover of that business in any financial should not exceed 100 cr. Next, which I have already discussed, that it should be working towards innovation or highly employment generation capacity, and it should not be made by reconstructing any existing business. So it should be a fresh business. Now let understand what is the benefit of a startup, recognized startup. So we will understand it later how to recognize. Recognize means that your startup is registered with Department of DPIIT and the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. So we will later on discuss how to recognize. But if you are registered with them, then these are the benefits or incentives we get. So first benefit is that you got the tax exemption for 3 consecutive years in the coming 10 years from the incorporation date. So suppose if you are registered in 2025, so in next year by 2035 you have an option in 10 financial year, you can select any 3 financial year where you do not have to pay any tax. However, there will be applicability of minimum alternative tax of 18.5%, but that will also be available for adjusting in further 10 years as a MAT credit. So, in short, 3 years you don't need to pay any income tax. There are many labor laws from where you can just apply self-certified basis for 5 years. There will be no inspection, and it will be on your self-certification. It will be thought as that you have complied with these labor law. Then third benefit is that you can share your shares at more than fair market value, that is as per your book value calculated as within the income tax provisions. So you can even beyond sell the shares beyond that price. However, this was also removed by the budget 2025. And again, if you open any startup and you have in that financial year sold any you have earned any long term capital gain, so if you are from that amount you are investing in this capital of the startup, so that will be treated as a deduction from that capital gain. And again, there will be a network which will be introduced with from where you can get the investors. There are certain benefits from Companies Act as well. There are some board meetings relaxation and deposit relaxation. I will not go deep into this because our focus will be on subsidies and benefits. Then this is the process which I was discussing, that how you can be a startup. So you have to apply on this national single window portal, that is a central government initiative. Firstly there was a portal called Startup India portal where you can register. Now government have introduced a national single window portal where you can apply any registration, and as well as you can apply for this startup recognition. You have to give just a brief detail that about your constitution of business, then what is your idea, what is your business idea, what is your any product which you are introducing or service you are introducing, and then you have to submit the form. And if any query comes, normally this certificate is practically received to you within few days. So after getting this, you have get a Startup India dashboard. From that dashboard, you can claim the tax exemption, and there is also some benefits which is for which we are here. There's a grant, and there was a scheme launched, Seed Fund India scheme by the startup. So this is introduced in 2016 when the startup came. Then government introduced this scheme, and this give you two things separately. One is the grant, which is a prototype grant, which means to make your first product or to make your first application, government is giving you 20 lakhs. That is non-refundable, means you have to show your idea. You don't need to invest anyone. Like in subsidy we have to invest something, then some part of the amount called subsidized. But in grant, this is given at on ad hoc basis, means total amount is your own contribution is not mandatory. So 20 lakhs you can get from this grant, and 50 lakhs an optional loan is available. If you want further more than 20 lakhs, you can also apply for a 50 lakhs loan, and that will be given you for a repo rate. Like currently that is 5.5%. So you will get a discounted rate of interest, and there will be a moratorium for 1 year for this loan. Other than that, there are other grants. Suppose you are a manufacturing or you are making any electronic gadgets, so there is a grant around 40 lakhs. Also some electronics early age startups, their Ministry of Electronics is giving 30 lakhs grant. In some projects you can also apply matching grant, 50 lakhs. There you have to apply 50% matching grant, means 50% you will apply 50 lakhs in your project, and 50 lakhs will be funded by the government. If you are working in any artificial intelligence technology, or any deep tech technology, so then you can claim about 1 crore grant. There are other grants also. If you want to be an incubator, so incubation center or nodal agency, you can get 2.5 crores grants. There are other grants also, like we are seeing in solar cell manufacturing, in semiconductor chips. There are PLI, we are normally introduced with this word, production linked incentives or production linked grant. So if you are doing any semiconductor chips or solar cell manufacturing, there are grants for this also. And there are private grants which is normally given by any other foundations, and there are subsidy linked grants for medical college, etc. Now, uh, this is a funding thing. There's another business impact grants. There are some states which is giving you grant for startups, like UP government, Uttarakhand government is beyond the central government. They are also giving you some grants. So this is, there are state specific grants also. Like in UP, you can get around 32 lakhs, 40,000 from for your startup. So these are all about the grants we have learned. Now moving the another part, that is subsidies, central government and state government subsidies. Before that, I want to introduce you with this definition of MSME, because this is important, because later on we will introduce the MSME subsidies. So there was a definition of MSME that was divided in three category: micro, small and medium. So if you are having any plant and machinery in your balance sheet up to 1 CR before 2025, 1st April 25, before that, if you are having 1 CR plant and machinery and 5 CR below turnover, then you will call micro category. But now these limits are almost in plant. If I talk about plant and machinery, it is increased by 2.5 times. If I talk about turnover, so it is now doubled. So I am just talking about the new limits only, because it is now applicable from 1st April 2025. This definition is also important, like the startup definition was important for startup incentive. This definition is important to get the MSME subsidies. There are also central subsidies, and there are also state specific subsidies for MSMEs. So first of all, we have to get to know that in which category you are falling. If you are having, in current situation, if you are having a fixed assets up, plant and machinery up to 2.5 crore and turnover below 10 crore, so these conditions are together to be seen for categorization. So both limits should be below that to fall in micro category: 2.5 below plant and machinery and 10 cr below turnover. If one of the limit, like turnover, crosses 10 cr, so you will automatically go into the small category. If talk about the small category, you should have a maximum plant and machinery of 25 cr and turnover 100 cr. Same way, in medium category, you have to go plant and machinery maximum 125 cr and turnover 500 cr. Below to that, if you exceed that, you will got large scale. If you will not qualified in MSME, so you again you will not get the MSME benefits for subsidies. There are large COP subsidy, but that is separate. This category is important because percentage of subsidy depend on this category. If you fall micro, there is different percentage. High percentage normally given to low category, and accordingly, if you are scale up, the percentage of subsidy got reduced. So if I talk about the subsidies part, there is two subsidies: central government and state government subsidies. First, let's discuss some common subsidy, which maybe few of them have heard these names before. PMEGP is very popular scheme, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, or called Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. This is a very old scheme, and there was also another scheme that is in food sector, PM Kisan Sampada Yojana. There are other cold storage based scheme, Pradhan Mantri formalization of micro food processing and enterprises schemes. So first of all, let's talk about this scheme, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. I am discussing first those schemes which are applicable for all, like startups. You can all apply, whether you are having any business, you can apply for that. Like this Prime Minister Employment Generation Program is for all type of business, but it is only for individual. If you are a partnership from a private employer, it is not for them. It is for individual entrepreneur. And in case of manufacturing unit, you can give a maximum project cost of 50 lakhs, and for service unit you can give a maximum cost of project cost of 20 lakhs. And this is the category of subsidies. If you are, this is a some urban and rural area based differentiate, and also there is some special category, general category person. If you are giving any project in urban area, then you will get 15% of your capital cost as subsidy. So like if you are having opening any manufacturing unit about 50 lakhs, so you will get 7.5 lakh for this subsidy for your against your capital cost. Same way, if you are putting your plant or business in any rural area that comes in the rural boundaries, so you will get 25% of that limit, around 12.5 lakhs you will get as subsidy. If your promoter is belong to any special category, means she's lady entrepreneur, or he's any belonging, or he or she belonging to any scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, then in urban area he or she will get 25%, and in rural area they will get 35% of the capital cost. And there is a compulsion of general category that 10% project cost should be given by you, and as a own contribution you have to show as a margin. And other category, special category, you have to show 5% as your own margin. Now talk about this PM Kisan Sampada Yojana. This is very popular scheme. This is given for all type of food sectors, cold storage or food manufacturing, ripening plant. So I'm just sharing a category wise, there are differentiation with PM Kisan Sampada based on the area. So there are general area based subsidy, and there are northern eastern area and island based area, and for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe promoters. So you can find a difference that in case of cold chain, if you are making any cold storage, there is around 40% of the project cost will be given as a subsidy, and there is a ceiling of 10 cr for that project. And if you are making any cold storage or area in north and eastern area, there's a subsidy, a grant or subsidy around 50%. Total project cost maximum ceiling is same 10 cr. Some people might may confuse, because this is PM Kisan Sampada Yojana. This is given under Ministry of Food, and there is also Ministry of Agriculture, which is giving separate subsidy. So Ministry of Agriculture is having different concept, and Ministry of Food have different concept. So first of all, let's discuss the Ministry of Food. There are also creation expansion of food processing and preservation capacity. So this first one was cold chain, second was food processing. In food processing you will get 35%, like rice mills, like other different type of manufacturing units, or any food product making companies, they will get 35% of project cost as capital subsidy, and there is a ceiling of 5 cr. This is now being increased to 7.5 cr. And northern eastern area, this is again the calculation of project cost increased to 50%. Then there are infrastructure for agro processing cluster. So agro processing cluster is like you make any industrial park kind of thing, where are 10 units, 10 food processing units in a single area. So if you are developing any kind of infrastructure for agro processing cluster, which are normally based and related to each other, so there will be again 35% grant for project cost, maximum 10 cr, and in special area it is 50%. So this is all in PM Kisan Sampada Yojana. To apply that, there is a portal of MOFP. We called it Ministry of Food Processing Industries. There, the expression of interest need to be submitted, and every year they open the window for 2-3 months where you have to apply. And there is some requisite document like your appraisal of bank loan or any project report, and all the KYCs, registrations of your business, as well as there is a demand draft of 20,000 around in name of ministry. You have to submit with that portal. Then there are again many type of sector specific schemes you can introduce. There are state MSME policies, like in Uttar Pradesh, in Uttarakhand, in Rajasthan, Punjab, Bihar, in somewhere other southern states. Also, states have introduced their own MSME policies. So, if I talk about few policies, like for example, UP state policy, There is a stamp duty exemption which is generally given area wise, like in eastern UP there is 100% stamp duty exemption. In western UP, Madhyanchal, Pashchimanchal, 75% stamp duty. In Noida and Ghaziabad it is 50% of stamp duty exemption. If you start any business, you have to go to your district industry center, you have to apply for the stamp duty exemption. And practically they are asking for a bank guarantee of same amount. Earlier there was different criteria, but now I'm currently talking the practical thing. So they ask you the same amount of uh, bank guarantee, and then you have to submit the paper that within 2 years you are going to uh, open a industry in that on that particular land. Then they will give you an exemption from stamp duty. If you fail to put any industry over there, then they will take the bank guarantee back. Same way, Uttarakhand give the stamp duty exemption. They have divided into four category: A, B, C, D. According to hill area, the most high altitude area goes in A, then low altitude area B, then C, then D area, having different thing. Same way, other states, Rajasthan and other states have also divided their area, and accordingly they are giving 100% to 50% stamp duty exemption. Means the most developed area will get lower exemption, and the highest developed area will get the highest exemptions. So according to your state, you can find out the state MSME policy. There are capital subsidies policy which is giving 10% to 30% of eligible capital investments. Like for Uttar Pradesh, you were giving from like micro category, they give you higher percentage, 25%. Then in again small category they give you 20%. Then for the medium category they'll give you 15% of the capital subsidy, and there is a capping of around 4 cr for that. According to different Uttarakhand or different policy, they're also giving their low altitude and high altitude area from 20% to 25% of the capital subsidy amount. So this is about state MSME policy. Every state we cannot discuss, but most of the states in India are now having state MSME policies, which is having stamp duty, capital subsidies, and for few micro units they are also giving up to 50% of interest subsidy also. So that's that we have already discussed the Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Bihar, Punjab MSME policy. There is also NABARD policies. If you are making any dry warehouse, so now they have fixed the cost for that. For example, you are making any warehouse, so they have giving 9,000 per square meter costing to 12,000 per square meter costing, fixed by the government of Ministry of Agriculture, and accordingly they give you around 35%. There is a circular which I will show you for that. Now moving to another part of our employment linked incentives. Before that, let me show you the NABARD scheme also. Or first of all, I also showing you few MSME policy, how you can find out. So suppose if you want to find any MSME policy of your own state, so you have to submit. Like for Uttarakhand, you can simply type the investment submit, and here you will find every. There are state specific portals also. So from this different submits, you can find the whole policy of your sector specific and as well as MSMEs. So, like for Uttarakhand, there are around 25 plus sectors. They recently, there 2 years back, they have given their investor summit. Uttar Pradesh have done their investor summit in 2023. So there always on any state you will go, and there are login portals also given in there. Like UP, you have Nivesh Mitra portal, UP Sarthi portal. Uttarakhand have given in this investuttarakhand.uk.gov.in. Rajasthan gave him RIS portal. So there is a sector specific schemes which you can maybe seeing on the screen, that there are various schemes given. There are tourism scheme also on hotel, averagely 25% to 30% incentives on capital subsidies are being given. So if you click on any sector, you will get the related policy. Here we are actually talking about the common policy. So this is the investment policy for industries. So you have to, for your client, or if you are a businessman, you have to find two type of policy. First is the general policy, that is the industrial policy or MSME policy. If you want more benefit, then you have to further see the sector specific scheme. If like you are in a food sector, you have to see the food sectors based schemes. So that I have to show you that up to 550 CR, this is MSME policy 2023, up to 50% capital subsidy. Then there are 50 CR to 400, there is industrial policy. Again, it is having interest subsidy and electricity. 200 CR project having 100% of investment as customized incentive policy, that is based on your production link incentives. So if you are belonging to any state, so there is a comparison which you have to make in central government subsidy and state government subsidy. So because why I'm discussing the state government subsidy, because nowadays these have crossed the limit according to latest expenses. Earlier state subsidies were not that much popular because they are not giving that much amount, but nowadays central government have not revised their subsidy capping from many years, but state governments are now working more promptly in these subject. Same way, if I talk about the Rajasthan investor summit, so you can search out this Rajasthan investor summit. I have covered few bullet points for state-wise subsidies. So, like Uttarakhand, as I told you that there is an area divided in A, B, C, D category. So, like Pithoragarh, Uttar Kashi, Champavat, Rudraprayag, this is high altitude area. So they have divided into A category. There are B category. For Almora, this is comparatively low category. Then C category, there are different area, and D category Haridwar, Dhamsik, Nagar, Haldwani, Nainital. That is very plain area. So according to that, they have fixed the category of investment. That capital investment will be, if you are doing in category A, there will be 50%, and if you are planning in category B, that is 40%. And according to investment size, they are reducing it. So basic amount is 50%. Then in category B area, if you set up any industry, there is 40%. In category C, that is 30%, and category D, there is 20% capital subsidy. Stamp duty reimbursement, as I talked about, UP in Uttarakhand 100% in category area, B category 100%, C category 75%, D category area 50%. So area wise, the stamp duty got reducing or increasing in Uttarakhand. In Uttar Pradesh, which we have discussed, interest subsidies averagely 4% in micro area, in small category of businessmen 3%, in medium enterprises 2% interest subsidy. Maximum capping is uh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh, and 7 lakh given. This is Uttarakhand tourism policy. Averagely, they are giving for resorts, they are giving this capital subsidy of 40%, and averagely 35% subsidy for making a project of hotel or resort. Interest subsidy, they are giving from 5% to 10% based on area wise. Stamp duty concession 100%, except in plain area 50%. Same way, if I talk about the MSME policy of Rajasthan, so Rajasthan, they have divided into different category MSME, and then there are large projects of beyond 50 CR to 300 CR, large, mega, and ultra mega. According to that, they have divided, they have given three options, that either you can take investment subsidy, either you can take capital subsidy, either you can take turnover linked incentive. So you have to choose in Rajasthan that which one you can choose. So, in case of investment subsidy, the ceiling amount is 50 CR, and they are giving you 75% of state tax due reimbursement for period of 7 years, and maximum capping will be 50 CR. So, whatever SGST of Rajasthan you are paying, that amount will be calculated into 75% of that amount will be calculated as the investment subsidy. If I talk about the capital subsidy, then there is a fixed percentage as per the EFCI. EFCI means fixed capital contribution, equalized fixed capital investment in that project. There are average 5% interest subvention in Rajasthan for these projects. Then accordingly, this is given the EFSI based calculation that if you are having this much of amount, then it will be calculated as large area, mega large area. So same way, this is the state specific scheme which I have discussed for 2 3 states, because we have limited time, so we cannot discuss each state here. Same way, Punjab have done recently the investor summit. So after Punjab, then we will move on another topic. Every state, if you are belonging to any state, you just type the investment summit of that particular state. You will find out that recently every state is doing an investor summit. So this is Invest Punjab for Punjab. They're also same way. Every portal, if you see, every state specific portal is designed in the same way, and they specifically sector specifically they have giving schemes. Mega Food Park, Convention Center, Integrated Manufacturing Clusters, Aero City, Smart City, Mega Food Park. So if you go into any particular sector, you will find your own type of scheme. Averagely, if I talk out in nutshell, you have at least 15% to 50% of capital amount as your subsidy. So these are all area which they have given. Same way we talk about the startup, so they have also working on the startups thing, state specific startup. So accordingly, in a page, like in on page 17, they have given advantage. So you just need to go to any state portal to see the state specific subsidy. Now, same way if I talk about the NABARD subsidy for warehouse. So just this is the subsidy rules and eligibility for this. There's also very common scheme nowadays is agriculture infrastructure fund. So we'll talk about these both schemes. This is very popular nowadays. There is a agriculture infrastructure fund that is giving only subvention of interest, and that is up to calculated up to 2 cr. So these are two schemes which related to rice mills, and which are relating to any agriculture activity. Like for food processing, we have food processing activity. Somewhere Kisan Sampada have common thing, and this Ministry of Agriculture subsidy have the common facilities. So this is the important fact that minimum loan amount should be 10 lakh and maximum loan amount should be 50 crore, and loan repayment is up to 9 years including a grace period of 2 years. Interest period of loan is prevailing as per the lending bank, and these are the required documents for NABARD scheme: application form, project report, and different KYCs and that. Now moving the main part. So project cost, including the cost of land. Even from this year, from last 2 years, the state specific subsidy schemes are also including the cost of land in the project cost. And this is the warehousing facility, that minimum storage capacity of for warehouse should be 100 metric ton for individual, and if you are a company, then minimum 250 metric ton should be as your capacity for starting any warehouse project. So subsidy amount will be 25% of project cost for individual farmer and 50% if you are a company. So maximum subsidy amount will be 3.75 crore for individual and 6.75 crore for others. And there the promoter should have at least 10% of project cost as their own margin money. So this is all about the NABARD subsidy for warehouse. So average 25% you can calculate in NABARD. But if I talk about the PM Kisan Sampada Yojana, there you are seeing that there's a 35% of scheme. But because some of the person know about this NABARD scheme and some of the person goes into this Kisan Sampada, and there may be a question from your side that to why to have the Kisan Sampada, when to have the let's moving to that slide. So you may ask the question that why PM Kisan Sampada, or we have to go in this NABARD scheme, because normally people will say that this is the highest eligibility criteria, 40%, 35%, and even the capping is beyond that NABARD scheme. But sometimes what happened that budget is limited to the schemes, and this is a very limitation in every central government subsidy scheme, that budgets are limited. So application are selected on the expression of interest basis, and PM Kisan Sampada also invite the application very few period of time. There is a window open in every year. So if you are suppose that window is not is closed, and or even that window is open, but there is a selection process, so you can apply in NABARD as well. And if you are selected in NABARD and if you are selected in PM Kisan Sampada, you can at least get a one subsidy. You cannot take two subsidies simultaneously, but at least you have double chances to get a subsidy. So that is why we are discussing both scheme, NABARD scheme as well as PM Kisan Sampada. Then there is Agriculture Infrastructure Fund scheme, that is about the subvention of interest. So here the question who can apply. So any FPOs, we are very popular farmer producer organization, they can apply. Agriculture produce marketing committee, entrepreneur, any type of agriculture related organization can apply for this subvention. And there is a subvention of interest for this. Simply on this portal you have to register as a beneficiary, then you can take the benefit of this scheme. If I see the key features, so there is a registration tab, beneficiary registration. Here you can register yourself, and normally nowadays banks are providing help in getting this subvention of agriculture infrastructure fund from their own. So there is an interest subvention of 3% per annum, and that will be calculated up to a limit of 2 crore bank loan. Even if you have taken 5 CR loan, the subvention will be calculated on only 2 CR. So maximum, if you talk about on this, so maximum 6 lakhs rupees per annum can be saved from this scheme. And there also credit guarantee like CGT MSME, there is a guarantee. And same way agriculture infrastructure fund is also giving credit guarantee of loan of 2 rupees 2 CR. And there's a very huge list that who can apply. So normally people are getting this subsidy practically, and interest subvention will be available for a maximum period of 7 years. So this is all about the agriculture infrastructure fund, NABARD, and PM Kisan Sampada Yojana. Normally people got confused between these three, because these three have are normally interlinked schemes of central government. Again, you can also go in state government MSME scheme, as I have shown you that Punjab, Rajasthan, UP, Uttarakhand, or different states, Bihar, even southern states, everyone is doing this subsidy schemes promotion. Then there are sector specific schemes in food processing, defense, electronics, pharmaceutical, handloom, dairy, civil aviation. So there you have to analyze the state specific schemes. And these like for even warehousing there are state specific schemes. So there is always a comparison between central government and state government subsidy schemes for these sectors. And there in my experience, you will find that state government subsidies are nowadays giving more incentives, and there are high chances because they are having full of budget, because they come up for different 5 years, and they give the central government schemes are actually evergreen schemes because they are running for very uh, long period. So moving to our third part, that is employment linked incentives. This become very popular from this budget. However, before that also this schemes were there, but nobody was very much aware about them. There was three type of employment linked incentives. First one is NAPS, National Apprentice Scheme. Actually, there is a Apprentice Act 1961 which compulsory allow to put any trainee in your organization. If you are having more than 30 employees, then yeah, there is a compulsion that you should have an apprentice. So there was a two scheme, NAPS scheme, which give reimbursement of stipend for paying them, and there was National Apprentice Training Scheme, that was uh, also a scheme, but that was for only graduate and diploma holders. These two schemes are different because NAPS is run by Ministry of Education, but the NATS, second one, which we are seeing, that is for graduate and diploma holder, that is by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurs. So these are two different ministry of central government which are running this scheme. Now third one, which is latestly introduced, it's Employment Linked Incentive Scheme, ELI scheme. That is why for EPFO, that was introduced in the budget of this year, in budget 2025, where government committed to give reimbursement of 1 month wage of PF employees. So that was introduced to some extent with the help of EPFO, and NAPS by Ministry of Education, NATS by Ministry of Skill and Entrepreneurship. So first understand about this first scheme, National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme, NAPS, which is by Ministry of Education. So Ministry of Education give very small scale of education person to get enrolled as apprentice. So basically any factory which is having minimum fifth pass person, and or minimum 10th pass graduate to up to graduate, the industry can enroll that person as an apprentice for any work. There will be a fixed period, minimum 6 months period will be there, and maximum 3 years that person can be employed as apprentice. And there's a stipend prescribed, or like qualification based, there is 5,000 per month minimum apprentice stipend should be there, and according to qualification 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, according to that, 10 pass, and up to graduate this is 9,000 per month fixed stipend that you have to give to that particular person who is employed in your organization. Benefit is that that person will not be counted in EPFO or ESI Act, because that's those act specifically exclude these apprentice in the employee definition. So if you want more employee, that is there, those are trainees, you can appoint them in under this scheme. Then there is a benefit that per trainee you will get 1,500 rupees per employee as a reimbursement of that trainee, or 25%, whichever is lower, on monthly basis for that candidate. There are states also who are giving NAPS promotion separately. Like for example, UP government is also giving 1,000 per month. So total 2,500 per month you will get the apprent for that apprentice. So you have to check your in your state how much amount they are giving. But central government is giving 1,500 rupees per month in NAPS. Same way, NATS is there by Ministry of Skill and Entrepreneurship. The basic difference is that here you can appoint any graduate or diploma holder, but that graduate holder from their qualification period, they should be appointed as apprentice within 5 years of their qualification. Like if a person qualified BCom in 2025, so within by the year of 2030, he or she can be appointed as an apprentice. Beyond that, he or she will not be eligible under this scheme. There is again minimum stipend 7,000 to 9,000 per month. Period of employment can be again 6 months to 3 years, 36 months period. But the reimbursement is more than NAPS scheme. That is rupees 4,500 for graduate and rupees 4,000 per employee for diploma holder. So you can get this reimbursement if you want to employ trainees in your organization. Apprentice Act is actually mandatory if you are having more than 30 employees. So this is not like to claim as incentive only. This is also a compulsory requirement if your organization is having more than 30 worker uh, in your team. So these are two schemes. Then this new scheme launched by the Ministry of Finance in their budget 2025, employment linked incentive schemes. In this scheme also there are two part. Part A that are giving. Let me show you this circular of the cabinet, which recently approved by the cabinet. So this was the circular which was scheme approved by the cabinet recently. So the purpose is written that to enhance job creation, employability, and social security in all sectors. And there are separate incentive for manufacturing and first time timers, means first time who are covering in the EPF. Those employee will be benefited. So first timer will get 1 month wage up to rupees 15,000 in two installment, and this scheme is going to be benefited around 3.5 crore jobs in 2 years with an outlay of rupees 1 lakh crore. That is the budget allocated to this. This is the recent circular on 1st July 2025. So union cabinet have approved this scheme, and this is the part A which I was talking about, incentive to first time employees, and part B is support to employers. So incentive will be given to both employees and employer. What is the benefit to employee? Those employee who are having salaries up to 1 lakh will be eligible. So if your organization is having employees who are having salary up to 1 lakh and that is recently being appointed, so 1 month EPF wage up to rupees 15,000 in two installment. Maybe the salary will be increased, but EPF wage up to 15,000 in two installment will be given. First installment will be given after 6 months, like he is appointed in now in August. So accordingly, we will calculate then in January, he will get the first installment, 7,500 rupees, and second installment after completing 1 year in August 2026, he will get the again 7,500 per employee, but that will be credited to employee, not to employer. So this is the benefit you can claim to employee in. You can show him that this is an incentive. If you join our organization, you will get 15,000 rupees extra beyond the salary. And a financial literacy program is also required to be attended by that employee to get eligible in this particular scheme. And this incentive will be like in subsidy, some MSME subsidy, government give you a fixed deposit and after 3 years it is released. Same way this incentive will be kept in saving instrument of deposit for a fixed period, then after that the employee can withdraw it. So it will not be given immediately to employee, he will get it, but it will be in the form of fixed deposit, and after certain time it will be given to that employee. He or she will get the interest by the time. Then what about the employers? So the additional employment beyond again the salary up to rupees 1 lakh, those employee who are employed, so government will give 3,000 per month for employer for 2 years. So it means employee was getting only one time 15,000, but here the employer is getting per month 3,000. Means 36,000 per year for additional employee. You will get it, and you will get it for 2 years. And for manufacturing sector, they will get 3 and 4th year as well as. So you can get around 1 lakh 4,000 rupees for in 4 years per additional employee you have employed if he or she continue in your organization. So that is a very huge amount, because there is no capping given in number of employees that how much employee they will get, and the bracket of that particular employee, if it is 10,000 rupees, then benefit will be 1,000 per month. If that employee salary is 10,000 to 20,000, the benefit will be 2000 per month. If more than salary, EPF wage slab of additional limit is 20,000, then 3,000 per month. You may ask a question that EPF wage is different and salary is different because there may be other allowances. So basic amount should be beyond this. So this is the employment incentive given to them in two different installment for the employees, and for employers they are getting per month basis on per year. So same thing which I have written, that one 1 month employee, 1 month wage for first time employee in two installment, then employees with salary up to 1 lakh is eligible. First installment after 6 months, second installment after 1 year. And this is all for employees. Part A. Part B, employer will get 3,000 per month for additional employee for 2 year, and for manufacturing 2 plus 2. Yani 4 years they will get 3,000 per month and 36,000 per annum if the employee continue. 2 years 72,000, and 4 years around if manufacturer, they will get 1,04,000 per additional employee. So that is a very good scheme if you are going to appoint any new employee, and if you are going to apply this new trainee. So these are two scheme, NAPS and NATS. Now you, many of you have a question that our organization is not registered in PF or ESI Act yet, but and even some of them may have not voluntary registered, but they are actually covering up. So government knows about this. So government have also launched this special schemes, one time promotional registration to cover up in your PF or ESI. So there was a scheme called SPRI 2025. Suppose if you are not registered, so you can register now also. Between 1st of July to 31st of December, there was a special window open for businessmen that you can register in ESI or EPF. And if, even if you was eligible to be covered beyond that period, the department will not question you about that. Means you can avoid the penalties or any previous due of EPF just by covering under this scheme if you are earlier eligible but you have not registered. So this was one time settlement scheme. I am also showing about this scheme, SPRI 2025. So this is the ESIC spree. So again, you are seeing that particular circular was of 1st July, then this circular is of 2nd July. So government, what the government intention shows here, that more and more employees should be covered in social security, and they should be covered under PF and ESI. So this is called the scheme for promotion of registration of employers and employees. SPRI 20 is the short form. This short form of this scheme is SPRI, Scheme for Promotion of Registration of Employers and Employees, SPRI 2025. So in 196 ESI Corporation meeting held in Shimla, they have decided this scheme will be introduced, and scheme have the active period time of 1st July to 31st December 2025. So this is a very good scheme. That is a one-time opportunity for unregistered employers and employees that they can come under this scheme, because to take the benefit of ELI and NAPS or NATS, you have to be registered under EPF and ESI. So this is a very incidental event that should be happen, because otherwise this scheme will not work, because many of them, we very practically know that many organization does not cover themselves in EPF and ESI by many issues that they will have to pay the contribution. But in recent days also, in COVID times also, government have given the PF part, and to some other years also they have given the, most of the time government have given the employer part. Only the employee part will be deducted for PF and ESI. And again, this incentive of 15,000 per employee and this 3,000 per month, again the intention of the government there, every employee should be covered in PF and ESI. So now moving back this on this scheme, So employers can register their units on ESIC portal. Registration will be considered valid from the date declared by the employer. So you can select that you want to declare like in 1st July to 31st December. You can select any date whenever you are registering, or you can also select any previous date. So no contribution or benefit will apply for period prior to registration. No inspection or demand for past record will be made for the pre-registration period. So they have clearly mentioned that even if you are registered now, we will not ask you any question about the previous period. Simply you register from like this 22 August, you apply for registration. They will not ask you any contribution for any employee beyond before this period of your registration, pre-registration period. So the scheme encouraged voluntary compliance by removing the fear of retrospective penalty and ease of registration prior to spree. Non-registration within specified time frame could result in legal action and demand for backdate. So this is a very good scheme, and maybe after 31st of December, government will may take actions against those people who are not registered yet. So better if this is a very great opportunity linked with employee incentive scheme also in ESIC. EPFO also have issued the same kind of circular. So same way EPFO was also issued a circular. So I am showing you both that in any scheme you will go, you will not be asked for the previous contribution. This is on Shram Suvidha portal. So this is, and again you are seeing that NSWS, as I showed you for the startup. This is also that EPF and ESI. You can choose the Shram Suvidha portal or also this national single window system to get the registration of for this EPFO also. So they have also given this scheme. This is the startup scheme which I was talking about, self declaration by startup. So like 32 scheme. So here is the link. Here you have to apply for self declaration for 5 years. Now let me search that circular for that particular. Maybe it is not showing in the portal, but we have received the copies of that particular thing. Like the spree scheme, there's also a Ministry of Labor issued same kind of circular for EPFO also, and same way they have the pointed out the same thing that they will not be considered for pre-registration period, and they will be valid from the date of registration, and no contribution for previous period or inspection for past record will be done for EPFO. So normally points are same for spree and point are same for this EPFO one time registration promotion schemes. By using both they can have the criteria of getting registered and getting claim the employment linked incentive schemes. Now again if I talk about the different employment linked incentives, so that is also released by some states also. So let me talk about the Rajasthan scheme which is linked with employment. So they are like the government subsidy. There are schemes for employment based criteria. So this is the scheme which is employment linked subsidy. This is for by Rajasthan. Some of the state have also linking that if you are minimum 100 employment generation and minimum 50 CR of EFCI, then you will be in this large category. If you are having 250 employees in your project, then you will be in mega category. And then if you are having 750 employees generation with 500 CR, then you will be in ultra mega category. So even if you have below project cost, but you have employment generation, then you will be find out in this category. Some of the state have linked this employment incentives in their project subsidy scheme. So they are basically giving an option like UP government giving you capital subsidy or production link incentive or SGST reimbursement of 50%. Rajasthan is also giving that you can either take investment, either take SGST reimbursement, or either you can take employment based investment. So they are also considering the employment based thing, that you can employ on based on the employment generation, you can select this of this much of thing. Now same way, I am also linking something from the startup thing. So here you have considered as labor laws election compliance self-declaration based for 5 years. So this was here shown practically on this Shram Suvidha portal, that for the startup scheme you can go here. So I'm, as well as theoretical part, I'm also trying to cover up the practical part, because so this is the self declaration registration portal. Here you can register your startup, and there you can uh, show the self certification. So this is the link given here, self declaration at Shamsuvida portal, and these are self declaration formats for labor laws. So here, this is the compliance regime given for startups. ESIC is giving, and also other Casual Labor Contract Act. So these are all circulars which are issued in favor of startup, that if you are startup, then inspection will not be there. So in one of my client also, I have seen this practically, that the labor inspector reached to his establishment, and I have show him the registration certificate of DPIIT to him, and show him this circular. So these are why these circulars are important, because these circulars are good enough to represent before the labor law inspector, because when they come to the establishment, they have will not might not convince with the DPIT certificate, but you can show the these circulars. This was issued in 2016, that if you are covering in this, so you will not be inspection eligible for inspection. Inspection will be done if after 5 years, or if you self certified, that it will be considered as being done. So these all are here hosted on this Shram Suvidha portal startup scheme. So you can very well understand, and you can go on this portal for claiming this exemption. Again, I will show the NSWS portal. This is important portals which we are discussing. Shram Suvidha nsws.gov.in. This is the national single window system. Here you can apply for all the central approvals or the government schemes. So this is the single portal for various schemes. Then this is MOFP, where PM Kisan Sampada Yojana applied. Because when we will not get the practical knowledge, the theoretical part will be overlooked by us. So this is the practical portal for MOFP. There are again everything is given here. Investor portal. So this is Nivesh Bandhu. Here the MOFI schemes are given. The mega cold chain which we have discussed, operation, creation, expansion of food processing scheme. So here you have to make the ID for your business and apply this. They have separately launched this Nivesh Bandhu portal for this. Same way, there's a startup in India that is for claiming the tax exemption. So here is the dashboard if you apply for anyone. So here will be the dashboard available, and from here you can claim this recognition, DPIT recognition, which I was talking about. Get recognized. So here you can, and if you are having getting any certificates, you can validate all your DPIT certificate from here. So DPIT recognition and everything will be done from this Startup India portal. State specific portal which we have already seen, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, and this is for the cold storage. And they are also linked in scheme here given Department of Animal Husband and Dairying, because again like this I have show you the Ministry NABARD scheme is common for warehousing and common here also, like same way dairy scheme, some schemes are given by Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairy. Ministry of Agriculture, we have discussed Department of Fisheries. So they have also given you the redirect schemes, and to go there, this is the NABARD scheme, and Minister of Horticulture. So they have linked here. Here also you can find out the different. This is the AHIDF scheme, commonly compared with the BM Kisan Sampada Yojana. So this is also having the interest subvention. They are the eligible entities that FPO, like in AIF, FPO was their private company, individual entrepreneur, Section 8 company, and MSMEs they can claim under this animal husbandry and dairying. So normally the milk processing units are normally covered in this. Ice cream unit, cheese manufacturing, flavored milk, milk powder, they will be covered in this AHFDF scheme. And if you are making the value added products like milk based products, so like different or sauces or nuggets, so that is also covered here. So again, AHADPF will ask 10% of contribution, 90% they are also giving guarantee, like Ministry of Agriculture, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, CGT, MSME, also this AHIDF. These are, so you can memorize these three, four organization are giving you credit guarantee also. And again, there is an interest subvention that is around 3%. Same way like the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund is giving. So the rate of interest to be fixed by scheduled bank should not exceed 200 basis point plus EBLR for eligible entities. So they are also fixing that the margin or spread which the bank take should be EBLR plus 2%, and they will give you 3% of subvention. And credit guarantee fund is also set up, like I have shown you, that 750 CR of credit guarantee fund is also set up. So there will be maximum repayment period of 8 years. Moratorium will be 2 years on principal amount, and maximum repayment should not exceed 10 years. So under this scheme, you can talk about your banks to get your loan done if you are relating to dairy scheme. If you are in agriculture scheme, they will cover you in agriculture infrastructure fund. Then there are also other Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India. So this is the scheme for this is the same agriculture AIF fund which we have already seen from the directly schemes. So there is a 3% subvention up to 2 CR. Then Department of Fisheries, they are giving Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which have recently announced in the budget. So So this is the funding pattern. The entire project या unit cost will be borne by the central government. अलग different options are given whether direct beneficiary oriented. So individual group activity undertaken by the central government and the central assistance will be 40% of the unit cost. So in few cases like northern, eastern, and Himalayan, 90% central share, 10% state share. Other states in central share 60%, 40%. Union territory 100% central share. So they will fund the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Yojana. This is the funding pattern for them. Beneficiaries are fish farmers, fish worker, fisheries development corporation, fisheries cooperative, fishery federations, entrepreneurs. So they will actually develop the new fisheries infrastructure from this fund, and against that the person can be benefited from this. So earlier there was a two separate scheme, central sector sponsored scheme, central sector scheme. So they have actually covered in this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana where they are making the fisheries infrastructure. Then this is the NABARD scheme which I have discussed for the warehousing. Eligible borrowers, again the state government can also be joint ventures, then again corporates, companies, entrepreneurs. We have very limited time, so I am trying to give you the linkage that how you can connect with these schemes. I'm going into the corporate thing. There is also circular where the project cost of every type of warehouse is recently been fixed by the government, because somewhere some what some entrepreneur do that they give inflated cost of project. So let me show you one circular which I have recently gone through. There they have fixed the cost that this 9,000 per metric ton to 12,000 per metric ton. The project cost will be fixed for the type of warehouse. There is a checklist given, loan format given, all the important formats you can find out this nabard.org. So you can note down all these portals. So here you can get the detail of the whole scheme of warehousing. Here you can get the all case study, and even there are sample project also given here where you can know how to make the project of your own organization. So these are all loan application formats given for food processing funds. There's the application of food park, mega food park. You can apply from this. Then individual processing unit in that food park. Like we have many food parks approved there. I'm giving you that circular separately. NABARD subsidy for warehouse. This is the operational warehouse infrastructure fund under the NABARD. So these are eligible entity. Basically, they are set every ministry is setting a special fund. So same way NABARD set up this warehouse infrastructure fund where the state government or central government is giving the loan to the financial institution, which will be further give the loan and subsidy to the entrepreneur for making this warehouse facility. But actually time limitations are there, so we cannot cover each and everything, but major ministries are here before you who are working for the, like agriculture infrastructure fund is working, and NABARD is working, Ministry of Food Processing is working, startup is working, and these employment linked incentive which we have earlier discussed. So, and there are state specific scheme which I have already told you. So you have to compare between all of them, then what you have to choose. And same way you can go for government grant also, which we have discussed initially. So this is all from my side. Now I invite the queries from the moderator, that if we have received any queries on our panel.
Yes, sir, we have a few questions.
Yeah,
Just
so
let me
because we
check
have
once.
next half an hour, so if that particular portal does not work, so we can note down the details on the screen. And so can we start the queries? How, and accordingly I will show you because the
Yes, sir,
screen is
sure.
shared. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for this highly insightful and enriching session. Our first question is interest subvention needs to be revised whenever there is a rate change? The subsidy is calculated based on Ind AS 109 and subsidy income is accounted based on the interest expense.
So the first question I think they are asking is interest subvention need to be revised if the rate change, right?
Yes, sir.
So rate change does not affect the subvention because subvention is fixed. Rate change, like somewhere they have mentioned in particular scheme where I have shown you that interest should not be exceeding the 200 basis point above EBLR. So in that case also, if once the subvention is approved, it will be always shown at the time of application. It will not be reversed if the rate increased. But you cannot claim two subvention at same time. Like it should not be like that you are claiming any export subvention simultaneously with the agriculture subvention if you are exporting a product and you are getting the export subvention. So two subventions should not be clubbed, and rate change will not affect it. Second question, can you repeat so I
The,
can
sub-
get the
the
clarity?
subsidy is calculated based on Ind AS 109 and subsidy income is accounted based on the interest expense.
In days, they are asking the subsidies.
Calculated based on Ind AS and income is accounted based on interest expense.
Income is accounting on interest. See, if the you are want to get the accounting computation, that is a totally different part. We are here discussing the disbursement or scheme procedure. Yeah, that is totally depend on the about your entity, how your entity is working, whether it is if about talking about the fixed cost, you are getting that is the basic AS or NDS both show us that if you any capital subsidy is received to you, that will be reduced from the cost of the that particular fixed asset, and if any interest cost is received to you, that will be reduced from your finance cost. So the borrowing cost NDS will work there, not this grant thing. If we are talking about this grant thing, there will be two different AS applicable for that. As
Sir,
for borrowing cost, you have to show, and accordingly you have to apply it. So that is Ind AS 23 for that, not Ind AS 109 will be applicable for the borrowing cost.
okay, sir. Any subsidy for service sector working companies?
Sorry, any subsidy
Service
for
sector. Service sector companies.
service sector? We have shown that all the MSME schemes are eligible for that. All the MSME schemes are eligible for the service sector. Service sector can also take the startup benefit. So there are sector government grants for that. There are PMEGP. These are all in for service sector. Only the project cost is different. So we have also shown in the slide that PMEGP is eligible for manufacturing. They have given a maximum cost of 50 lakhs. For service sector, they are given a maximum cost of 20 lakhs.
Are there any FAQs released by government on PM Rozgar Yojana?
Any
PM Rozgar Yojana regarding any FAQs are released?
FAQs are all available on this Shram Suvidha site, and there are only this circular which I have recently got from the government. And recent all the things will come up as an example. I think when the queries will be increased by the employers, so it will be there. This circular union cabinet approval circular is there where the example is also mentioned, so you can go through that.
Under PMEGP, what subsidy percentage is offered to entrepreneurs in general category versus special category?
Which I have already seen in the slide that there's a that we have already showed that 15% for general category in urban area and 25% if you are working in rural area. In special category, if you are lady entrepreneur, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe entrepreneur, then 25%. In case of urban area and in case of rural area, 35%. So this that table I have already shown in the slide.
Which sectors in India currently benefit from EII scheme with employment conditions?
Which sector? Every sector is benefiting. Only the manufacturing sector is getting 4 years benefit in case of employers. I didn't get it. The question. What is the person is asking about? Which sector? Every sector is covered in that particular ELI scheme, right? They
Yes.
are asking about the ELI which sector. Which every sector is benefited. Only difference is that manufacturing is giving period of 4 years for incentive, and other will get 2 years. So every sector is getting benefited. It's not a sector specific scheme. It is
Moving
common.
forward, moving forward to next question, sir. What is the eligibility criteria for employees to be covered under ABRV benefits?
What eligibility criteria for?
ABRV benefits.
Can they ask the full question? ABRB benefits like what?
Sir, let's wait for the full form. Which government scheme provides incentive to employees for hiring
Atmanirbhar Bharat
apprentices?
Yojana. I think they are ABRY. Maybe they want to mention ABRV or ABRY.
ABRY, sorry, ABRY.
ABRY. Okay, okay. So what? Can you repeat the question? What was the full
Yes,
question?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is the eligibility criteria for employees to be covered under ABRY benefit?
Employee should not be covered before PF, or there will be first time cover, and their salary should not exceed 1 lakh rupees, and that is the whole criteria. And they should work minimum 6 months period, because minimum 6 months they will get the first installment, and after 1 year they will get the second installment. This is the all the criteria for eligibility in Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. The different name actually, ELI has been given two different names: Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. So I got confused with that ABRV, ABRY is this thing.
E- Sorry, sir, it's EBRY. Will CA form also considered as MSME under service category?
Yeah, you can take the benefit of MSME, and it totally depends on your registration that you properly mention in the Udyam. In taking the Udyam registration, you should properly disclose everything. And if you are service
How
sector,
does
that will eligible for MSME. You, if you are setting up your office, you are increasing any infrastructure cost in your office, so that there you can claim the capital subsidy for that.
how does the government promote green energy efficient technology adoption in MSMEs through subsidies?
So we have talked about the solar cell manufacturing, and solar cell are there, and electronic vehicle subsidies are there. Electronic vehicle subsidies are generally now state specific. Punjab is giving, UP is giving. So electronic vehicle they are giving for green energy. If I talk about the solar cell, so it's a secondary basis giving. However, solar plant, see, domestic, we know that PM Surya Ghar Yojana is there, but for commercial, you can claim in MSME, but not separately. There are any separate scheme for that. But if you are installing any solar plants, you can go in the MSME. You can cover it as a plant and machinery, energy saving devices.
Can you please explain again on NATS?
NATS, okay. NATS is a scheme that is for graduate and diploma holder apprentice. If any employee cover up as apprentice and that is a graduate or diploma holder, you can register on NATS portal. NAPS and NATS both are giving their separate portal. Employer have to register it. Candidate also have to register it. You have to post a vacancy, and on that vacancy the candidate select, you take the interview, you select him, everything should be worked on that portal only. Then the stipend will be credited to the bank account of the candidate directly. NAPS you can select that disbursement can be done to your employer account also. So NATS is basically from uh, the graduate, and period again same, 6 months minimum training period to 3 years maximum training period is there.
How to apply for ABRY?
To apply for ABRY, you have to work through Shram Suvidha portal. So you will be work through that portal.
Okay, sir. Before concluding, I would like to share with all the participants an important upcoming initiative of Committee of MSME ICI Startup. Fifth RRC held on iHub Ahmedabad from 4th to 6th September 2025.
Ma'am,
The
you can share
RRC
your screen also if you want uh, with the flyer.
just I can check how I can share that flyer. Let me check first.
By the time the person who was asking about the NATS and apprentice, so there's a portal apprenticeshipindia.gov.in. Here, there you can get the detail of NAPS, and for NATS, nats.education.gov.in. There you get that NATS information.
Uh, I think flyer is
Yes, yes, visible.
visible, right?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So this RRC will cover understanding of startup ecosystem, practical insights, role of CS, and networking opportunities. I strongly encourage all the members to participate and benefit from this unique residential program. Finally, on behalf of Committee on MSME and Startup, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to CA Gyan Chandra Mishra sir, Chairman of Committee, to our speaker, CA Naveen Agarwal, for delivering such an informative session, and to all the professional colleagues and participants who joined us virtually today. With this, we formally conclude this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir,
you very
for
much, ma'am.
wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coordination. Thank you, tech support team.
Thank you, everyone. If any question is still arise, I think we have shown the practical portal. So all are advised to go through those portals for details. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.